Hi guys, how are you today? Sisi tuko poa. Yes, I say Sisi because I am not alone today on set. I have a group of fantastic women. A small backstory. I hosted the dads, you know the dads I'm talking about, a couple of weeks ago. And at the end of that conversation, they mentioned something. They said, what about you gather a few women, have them come sit here and tell us about their experience as moms, and to be very specific, single moms raising boys. And mimi ni nani? Mimi nikacheza kama mimi. Nikasema niandikie email hapa. Niambie if you would like to come and have this conversation with me, and I want to say thank you. Thank you, because I received quite a couple of emails. I think I received over 20 emails. So asanteni sana. I would love to have hosted all of you, but well, to start us off, nimeita three beautiful ladies, and they're here with me today. And before niongee sana, I would like you to meet them, and I want to start with by asking them to introduce themselves. Watuambie tu jina before watuambie story yao, si ndio? Caroline. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you.
I'm Caroline Njage, all the way from Kirinyaga County, but residing in Embu. Of course, I'm a mom to two beautiful kids, a boy aged 9 and a daughter turning 2. Yeah. And I'm so glad for having me here.
Thank you. Imagine, what time is it now? Wacha tuambie watu kweli. It is 11:26 a.m. Meaning, Caroline alifika hapa. Actually, you are the first person to arrive. And she came all the way from Embu to have this conversation with me. Yeah. God bless you, Caroline. She was here by 9 a.m. Actually, mimi ndio nimekuchelewesha. I am very sorry. Yes, but karibu sana. Sharon, you're up next.
Hi guys. I'm Sharon Regina, a mother of 2, a boy and a girl, under 3 years. I'm from Eldoret, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Judy, for having me.
Karibu sana, Sharon. Sasa imagine Sharon. Sometimes leo mpedhi nimekuwa overwhelmed na I'm feeling all sorts of emotions. Because Sharon had to travel jana from Eldoret. Ndio alale Nairobi. Ndio asubuhi amki conversation yetu. God bless you, Sharon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time. And then we have Olga. You have a fantastic name, a beautiful name.
Thank you so much, Judy. Well, my name is Olga Busibori. I work and reside in Makueni, specifically Makindu sub-county. I'm a mother of 3 children. My firstborn is 19 years in campus. The secondborn is 14 years, and the lastborn is 5 years. And I'm very happy to come and join this discussion.
Thank you so much. Yani you crossed counties kufika hapa. Oh my God, it's about to be a fantastic conversation. Kwa sababu hiyo Mungu haezi kubali ikuwe ni ati tumekuwa na siku mbaya. It's about to be a very beautiful day. And wa mwisho, last but not least, we have I call her our resident counselor. Counselor Unice is back. Karibu sana, Counselor Unice. But for the purposes of those who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you so much, Judy. Hi, guys. I call myself Counselor Unice, and I do this work. I journey with people, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much, Judy.
Karibu sana. Thank you for agreeing to come and have this conversation with us. And the reason why Counselor Unice is here, she is a mom, yes, to a boy and a girl only.
Yeah.
Yes, if I'm not wrong. Unaona najua maneno yako.
We say a mother of many.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Yes, that's true. But and the reason why I felt it was good to have her here today, because she's not a single mom, as our fellow moms will tell us when they introduce themselves, is because I felt we needed someone who's a professional to help guide these conversations. So if there are any challenges being raised, then we have a professional who can help us navigate those challenges.
Good.
So asanteni sana. sana sana. So, and now we start our conversation, and I would like to start with Sharon. Sharon, you've told us your name, but Sasa, I would request you to tell us a little bit about yourself and the reason why you felt you needed to come and have this conversation with us today. Yes.
Okay, so my name is Sharon, Mama Wairimo or Mama Fontleroy. Fontleroy is the boy. I'm a widow. Yeah, and I'm raising a boy. My husband passed on last year, April. Yeah.
My condolences. How old is your boy?
3.7.
3.7. 3 years, 7 months.
Yes.
All right. And Caroline?
Well, like I mentioned in the email, I was kind of 50-50 about emailing you, but I saw it's important for people to, hear my story and relate to it. I became a mom at 21. Yeah. My boy, who is now 9, he turned 9 this year. And yeah, we had issues with the baby daddy, and that's how I basically have raised him alone, because at 21 I was still in college. So most part of his life he has known me to be both the mother and the father. So yeah, I feel most people can relate to my story, and I hope we have a conversation that is going to help someone out there. And yeah, and thank you so much for bringing on board a counselor. I'm sure she's going to answer most of our questions here. I'm so glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Olga?
For me, I'm a single mother of 3, and I work in the civil service. And basically, I ended up being a single mother because I was in a toxic relationship. So I decided to go single. And so far, so good. Other than a few challenges, I think I'm doing well. My firstborn is now in campus, and I thank God. And the other kids are big. I'm very happy. My son is turning 14 years. I'm so glad. It has its own challenges, but at the same time, when I look at the kids, it's all worth it.
That's true.
Totally.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. Now, before we get into talking about some of the challenges that you've encountered, I would like us to focus on some of the best things about being a mom. So if you were to pick like 2 or 3 things that you would say are the best things that have happened to you because of the children that you have in your life, what would you say?
I will definitely say, I think there's a lot of blessing coming my way, because there's this saying my daughter always does, like she always tells mom, God can't give you a challenge that you can't handle. So anytime, I've never lacked. I can't say I've lacked. I've never had to go and struggle or go back to my parents or my siblings for support. And it doesn't mean that I'm not having challenges. I've paid the fees, but it's always, there's a struggle there. But I keep remembering the words of my children, because they're like, Mom, you just pray. There's nothing that is so difficult for you. And they look at me like a superhero. I'm like, what do you see? Like my daughter says, you're the strongest person I've ever seen. So I don't think I'll trade the motherhood for anything. And the happiness, anytime you're home, your children are there. I think it's just, there's a lot of joy in motherhood. There's totally a lot of joy. And looking at your kids, now my daughter is like almost taller than me. So when you walk, you're like sisters. I think I wouldn't trade it for anything.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that point about sisters, because me and Mumbus, same. That's where we are now.
It's actually one of the things that I followed you, because I used to relate a lot. Anytime you're talking to Mumbus, I'm like, oh my God, that is so me and my daughter. So that's one of the things that made me start following your content a lot. And when you had this discussion for sons, we were watching Kina Belmtua and Jugush. When they were talking, it's most of the things we've seen the challenges. I've seen it through my brother. She has the same challenges, and now we are raising son, and I'm happy we're having this topic, because now maybe we can correct some of these things so that we don't have our sons having this thing, like our daughters or our girls, they won't be getting married because they'll be like, they're no good men. We want to create a better version of men for tomorrow.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that very much. Sharon.
Nitasema first ni motherhood is a blessing for me. Imenipatia sense of direction. Looking back in 2019 when I was still a girl, and right now, like kuna ile tu direction. Like I have a son who is watching me. I need to be better. I need to act better so that when he grows up, when he's looking for a woman or a lady, he'll be like, I'm looking for someone who's like my mom. So I don't want to mess in any way. I watch my words. I watch my action. Alafu another thing ni when I walk in the house after a long day, my son is like, Mom, karibu. Like, that is the best. Hata kama siku yangu imekuwa mbaya, but I'm looking forward to that, Mom, karibu. So hata nikikuja niko na stress, I know there's someone at home who's going to welcome me. So motherhood is a blessing, and I'm so grateful for it.
I love that. It is truly, truly a blessing. That one we can all agree. Yeah. And Caroline?
I think one of the perks of motherhood is kids bring out the best in you. Like, you have to be in your best behavior, because there's someone watching you, your moves, how you relate to people, what you say. And especially being a boy mom, a mom to a boy, those kids have a lot of energy. Like, even if you don't want to do something, you have to be there. They want to play, you have to. So they basically, make you get out of your comfort zone, but in a good way, so that you can cater for their needs. You're the one they are looking up to. So I would, like my friends here have said, motherhood is a blessing. I cannot imagine my life without my kids, and they are challenging me to be a better person day in, day out. Every day it's a new challenge, and I know I'm up to the task.
You are.
Yeah.
Yes, kabisa. Thank you so much, Caroline. And Councillor Unice, because you're a mom as well, and a mother to many. What would you say has been some of your best moments or experiences raising your children?
Thank you so much, Judy. And let me first congratulate these beautiful ladies. They've said so good things. And in fact, it is very encouraging. And to be a mother, even just by the mention of your child calling you mom, that is enough. It is more than enough, and you feel so good. So when you see your children, you see they are growing, you see that they had some challenges and they've been able to overcome those challenges. They've started making their own decisions. You feel good. When you enter into that house and tell you, welcome, Mom, or I would want to take you out, you feel good because these are your children. And we derive our happiness from them.
That's true.
Great.
Me, I'm looking forward to that day. That Mumbus will tell you, Mom, I want to take you out. I can't wait.
Very soon.
It's coming very soon. That's true. Because they are growing up so fast. So very fast.
Can I add something about the other thing that gives us pride is the milestones, when they reach a milestone. Last year, my daughter was called to campus at the University of Nairobi. And I remember we came, because I'm also an alumni and I'm still studying in the campus right now, doing evening classes. So we did this picture at the entrance, where it's written University of Nairobi. It was a pride, because I'm like, it's worth it. All the struggle, everything, it's worth it. And they do very few things. My son loves cooking for me. when I'm down. She'll come in the morning. I'll come in the morning with some weird breakfast. It's creative, something to make me smile. They'll bring the breakfast in bed. My daughter, when she got her first money, the help. She actually bought me a handbag. She brought me a handbag. And she was like, this is my first money. But the appreciation, it makes you feel proud as a mother. Yeah.
I like that, especially on the milestones. Because not so long ago, nilikuwa hapo kwa gate ya shule tukisema guy form 1. Yeah, but it's so interesting. We were having a conversation the other day and I was like, imagine now she's going to 3rd term. As in term 3. And very soon itakuwa form 2, form 3, form 4 and she's off to university. Yeah, so getting to be there every day to see the milestones is truly, truly a blessing. Wow, I love that. So my next question would be, what are some of the challenges you have faced as a single mom raising a boy?
I think there's this thing like the community or people like thinking being a single mother is something bad. There's shame. There's a little bit shame in it, like why you're not married, or why like a single mother is a promiscuous person, or a single mother. Some friends will be like, now that you're single, they don't want maybe to go out with you because of their husbands or their boyfriend, but they don't know your story. It doesn't mean like we don't have opportunities to get married or to be with people. Right now, before I take in maybe a man, I have to consider my children. Whatever is best. For me, I'll choose my children over the marriage. So it doesn't mean single motherhood is a bad thing and the community should stop shunning people like because they're single mother. We are here for a reason or because of circumstances. And some by choice, some people are widows, when some of them they were in a toxic relationship. Some of them things didn't work. We can't all get married or be the same. But we are just normal people, normal mothers. Yeah, they shouldn't. There's one of the challenges is that shame. And the other challenge is like we have to do things by ourselves. Because now compared to other people maybe who are raising children with their father, maybe school fees you have to split. Maybe the dad can pay fees, then you can pay for the household. But then for us, we are doing it by ourselves. So financially, it's training. You have to work harder than maybe someone who has both parents. And the other thing is for the children. It's so hard explaining to the children why the father is not there, why the father is not present. When they are in school and other children are talking about their fathers, where is my dad? Like my little girl will ask, most of the time will be like, daddy, when is my daddy coming? I'm like, atakuja tu. When is my daddy coming? Daddy wangu ataniletea hii. Because that is the same discussion they're having maybe in school. And they're so young. But then I just give her responses like, by the atakuja next week, hoping next week atasahau. The problem is these children, they have a very interesting memory. Unaweza mwambia hivyo na next week akuulize ulisema anakuja next week. So sometimes having to explain to our children, it's very hard. But I'm thankful like my children understand. And yeah, I hope it's I don't know what else to say about that, but yeah, we are trying.
And you're doing a fantastic
job.
Doing, yeah. The fact that you seated here and you mtoto wako wako campus.
Imagine.
Yes, like come on. Please. You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Sharon.
I was raised by a single mom, so every day I could see her struggles. Mom ndiye alikuwa breadwinner, mom ndiye alikuwa everything. So angeenda job, akuje, akona stress. Yeye alikuwa single mother by choice. She moved out. One morning she just quitted, akatuacha kwa dad. But sisi tukakaa, tukasema tunataka kwenda kwa mom. So tukaenda tukakaa na mom. Life haikuwa easy. Shule venye amesema shule ilikuwa tough. Unapata mtu anakuja anakwambia mi baba yangu. You'd see fathers walking in siku ya parents day. You wish your dad angekuwa, but ni mom. Sometimes utapata mama ameshikika job. So ni wewe ukaivo. Like u pretend to, but it is really hard. Nikigrow up sikutaka kukuwa single mother at all cost. Nilikuwa naambia Mungu, me I don't want to be a single mother kwa sababu ilini mess up really bad. In high school sikuwa friends na watu walikuwa na dad. My friends ungewaona ni wa single mother, ungekuja uanze kupiga story ya my dad, I don't want to sit next to you. So I would make enemies na watu wako na dad. So nivyo nika get married. Yeah, life was good. I got kids and the unfortunate happened. Yeah, so like my worst fear right now is raising those kids. And I don't know about my boy because I really don't know what he'll face. Na hiyo ndo inaniscare more. But for my girl, naogopa I go through what I went through. You self-esteem ushuka mbaya sana. Kabisa. You just want your daddy. Mine was alive. But for my daughter, I don't know. That is my worst fear. I'm living in my worst fear, to say the least.
That's quite deep. Oh, that's quite deep. Caroline?
Well, I would say my fear right now raising a boy is wondering how he will be when he grows up. Someone said that kids pick the template of love from their parents. Like how you see your parents treat each other, chances are that's how you will grow up to treat your partner, because they will grow up. So my worry is how he will be when he grows up. Right now I have assistance from luckily I have my father, his grandfather. So I try during school holidays he's at home, because that's the closest father figure I can give to him. But then there's still that worry of how will he be, because he sees me do everything. I'll fix the bulb, I'll fix the sink, I'll fix, and I know he's sofa. So I don't know how his perspective of how a family will be when he grows up. I think that's my fear, my greatest fear. And also I'm sad that he has no relationship with his dad. His dad is there, but there's no relationship. There has never been. Even the time we used to stay together, there was no bond. So he doesn't know the father-son bond. So I think my only fear right now, I'm trying my best. He's a kid and I'm trying to raise him the best I can. But then there reach a time in life where there are things I cannot have control over. And yeah, I don't know how he will turn out to be. Plus also the things he has seen or heard, sadly, his father maybe say or do to me when we were together. I think, and I hope they will not affect him. I think he's an easy boy to raise, but at the same time, I don't know. Those are my insecurities, like how he will turn out to be. Yeah, that's my greatest fear.
And they are very solid fears, like very solid fears. Yeah. And this is the reason why Counselor Unice is here, yes, to help us navigate through these challenges. Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, before probably I go into what they've said, sometimes probably even our viewers would want to know, what is singlehood? What are we talking about? We are saying I'm a single mom. I am raising up boys or girls. But what is it? And I just want to make it clear, when we talk of that, it is when you are raising up your children without a partner. And you can either be myself as a lady, it can be the father, where the mother is not there. It can be the grandparent, where we normally leave our children. It can be an aunt or even an uncle. And some of the challenges, those that we face, are also faced by others out there. But this is just a small representation of the larger world. And in life, we all face challenges, Judy.
That's true. Very true.
We all have our fears, fears of the unknown. If you look at what they have said, it actually affects most of the ladies and even gentlemen, because we also have single fathers.
Yes.
And when we are raising our children, those things keep on coming. Emerging issues will still come. But then, when we look at the various fears, like they have said, she has talked about the stereotype, where those who are not married or who are raising up children without the other partner, there is a lot of stereotyping. So what can we do about this? And I want to say that at times, people have come to accept this, because we have even single parents who are even able to raise up their children, and they've become role models.
True.
And even the government and even other people, even in the community, are making them to be their role models to their children and the like. So the stereotyping is there, and it will still come, but with the time, it will still come to an end. So when it is coming, how do I behave? How do I take it? Me as a single parent. It's just to accept it, because it is either I became a single mom, either by choice, either by divorce or separation, either the other partner died, so I'm a widow. So circumstances may bring in this, but whichever the case, we are bringing up our children single-handedly. But that does not mean that we cannot bring them to be the very best of their version. And that is why we need to come and say, okay, the stereotyping is there. They go to school. And then you hear people saying, that child, sini yule ako na mama peke yake, huyo hana baba, it affects them. But even if it affects them, what do we do as parents? We need to assure them, to affirm them positively, and to tell them that they can even be their very best, to listen and act as per their passion and their interest, and they sail through. Now, when it comes to the finances, we are all straining. We cannot say that there are some people who are completely well up, even those who are well up. That is why they wake up in the morning going to look for more resources and the like. So we are all straining. So what happens to this? We have our children. You've said ako university, which is good. So you have raised that child up to where she is. Kesho yake itajitetea. The others who are coming, you as our kids, they will still come. So whatever you passed through, it served as a lesson. And it was a good challenge, because you said you wouldn't want your children to pass through what you passed through. But here, circumstances or the situation imagilate. So what do? We just accept, and we say, I will work with this. And because my children believe in me, that I'm their hero, I will keep on encouraging them, giving them that positive affirmation, and they will sail through. Finances, let us budget. And we set our priorities. We look at which one is the best. We look at the here and now, that this is the responsibility. This is, I'm supposed to pay for the school fee. Do I go buying that car and forget about the school fee? Or what? So we set our priorities and we go with that. Fears of raising them, even when they come to adolescence, they will have the confusion versus the role model, identity and the like. And watakuwa wanauliza, who is my dad? Where is he? And that is why, Judy, today, you'll even find some boys saying, I would want to know who my dad is. And I would want to tell that parent who is there. If that dad is there, don't or avoid telling your child, your dad perished or died. Let the child know, because the child want to identify. If the dad is not there, in the case of death, have a role model, a male role model, like a grandfather, like your uncle or the child's uncle, or your brother, so that at least when it comes to that masculinity, because they want to be identified, they will learn from them. And I think that is the much I can say.
I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. And I like how you've put it. Because at the end of the day, when I listen to all of you, like every challenge you're mentioning, to some extent, pia mimi, it has occurred to me at some point in my life. Because when you talk about, like financially, like you put it, financially, hey, sisi wote in this economy, sisi wote tuko hapo. Yes, I'm not trying to make it sound like whatever you're going through is not, but it's good to know that it does not only apply to single moms. It's all of us. Some of these challenges cut across. And this is the reason for my next question. So we live in society now, and especially now with the social media and the internet and everything else, where the gender roles are very specified. Unajua, like mwanamume anafaa kukua hivi, mwanamke anafaa kukua hivi. So how do you go about teaching your son? For this one, I'll be very specific because I know we have daughters as well. But for this one, I want to be very specific. So how do you go about teaching your son masculinity and emotions in this society that you're living in today? Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have raising the boys, because it's so hard. Boys have this thing, they're not like as open as girls. And it's hard to sit down with my son and start talking about sex education. We are supposed to open up, but it's still difficult for us as mothers to start having such conversation, like, who are you dating, or you should do this. It's easier for girls because when they start their menstrual etc., it's easier to talk to them because you have an experience. But for boys, upon it difficult. Maybe that's one of the things she can guide us through and tell us, like, we try our best, but there's so much we can do as a woman to show. The only thing I'll tell my son is to be strong and try to behave in, like, be a better version of a man, like, treats women like this. And I see the way he treats me, and I tell my son, like, when you go out, this is the way you should treat, or how I teach him through the sisters. This is how you should treat. Don't treat your sister this way, because when he goes outside, he'll treat the other ladies like that. That's the much I can do. But emotionally also, it's still a challenge. Sometimes we rely on maybe churches or school, which I know is wrong, but it's so hard to deal with that point on my side.
Yeah, the last episode you had with Kina Njugush, Phil alisema something, alisema, a man is made a man amongst men. Yeah, so it's hard for me to really say. For me, it's hard. It's really hard because all me Kenya najua ni kukua feminine. You understand? And I'm raising a man. Na kwa household yangu, he's the only boy I have. Naishi na mtoto wangu, sister wangu, na mtoto wake, which is a girl also. So sometimes huyu inanipatia worries, naona anaweza pick, juu kila mtu hapo ni mwanamke, anaweza pick hiyo tabia, juu sasa sisi ndio tuko karibu, anaweza pick akue feminine, asikue mwanaume, and huwa inanishtua kabisa. I don't know what to do with it. Huwa nasema brothers wangu wakuje, but ni wadogo. Like, sina mtu mwenye naweza sema uncle ama guka nasema atamsaidia or anything. It's just me and him and my mother na sister yangu na huyo mtoto. Wengine ni wadogo wako shule, so wakiclose na waambianga wakuje, at least afeel kuna mwanaume kwa nyumba. Juu sisi ndo tunamwogesha, kitaka kwenda lu ni sisi. You understand? It is hard. Anaona wasichana wanainama. Anasimama. So I'm very scared. I don't know how to teach him to be masculine. I don't know. Neza mteach, but yeye anaweza. Mtoto anaona kenye unafanya, si kenye unamwambia at the end of the day. Yeah.
I think the only way I know how to deal with that challenge of, raising a boy, it's, like I said, I make sure when schools are closed, shago. Yeah. There he'll meet my brothers, his grandfather. So I think that's the best I do for now. But also I thank the CBC. They are, I don't know, the things he tells me, I thank God for school. Because there are conversations he brings up, which are not easy for me to bring up. But when he does, at least I'll know how to. Yeah. So thank God to CBC and also the male figures in our family. Yeah, but like I said, my worry of, knowing how to balance being the feminine and the masculine energy, he has seen me all do everything, so I don't know how he'll grow up and know how to differentiate the gender roles. I fear like when he grows up and maybe gets married, he'd be like, oh, I used to see my mom change the bulb, I used to see her fix the socket, but I hope with time, I hope that he'll be able to, catch up and be a good boy when he grows up. Yeah.
I can add to what he said about when he grows up, atakuwa zile za nilikuwa naona mamangu anafix bulb, and so niko na ndugu mkubwa mwenye mimi nafuata, and I've seen how he has turned out to be. When he first got married, alikuwa anambia wife, pia unaweza fanya kazi, you can bring food. Juu ni something me when I sat down, nilikuwa na ni something alikuwa na mama anafanya. So anaweza kosa hadi kwenda job kwa sababu pia unaweza fanya kazi, pia unaweza lipa rent, you do it. My mom was doing it, so pia unaweza fanya. So the way they turn out, tuko kwa hiyo masculine energy instead of being feminine. So anajua mwanamke can do what a man can do. So you bring food, you take care of kids. Mungu amekuwa kufanya, so unaweza fanya, and it's bad.
When we listen to the conversation you had before with Akina Abel, I think masculinity and some of this issue cut across all of them. I think Njugu had both parents. The other one, there's one who didn't have, the father was not present. The issues were kind of the same. And this topic was really close to the heart because at the end of the day, after having all this conversation, actually hope there might be better ways we can bring about, like, to have support. Some of us don't have those male figures in the family. You can say maybe Guka is not there, maybe the brother is doing his own thing. So not everyone maybe has that male figure. Some of the children look outside, like because of internet, they have all these figures, the people they look at mentors. The mentorship is a thing we haven't really embraced, but I hope in the near future is something we can have and say, all these people who've done great and maybe they've gone through the challenges and they've accomplished. How are they going to be mentors to other kids? I hope they can welcome the idea of, I can take a child and mentor. Because even if you don't have a male figure or someone who can mentor in the family, I can get someone outside. We look at these people, maybe lecturers or other people, politicians. There are so many people who are doing great. But how do you approach this person and tell them, can you be a mentor to my son? Yeah, it's difficult. But I hope maybe there's a way we can manage that part.
So before Councillor Unice talks to us, it just hit me as you're having this conversation. Because my dad passed away when I was in class 6. So I could say I have been raised by a single mom. Because then it was 4 children and 1 mom. And by the time my dad was passing away, my mom was a housewife. She had always been a housewife. So when Caroline said she's worried about the boy when he's older, the behavior yake na bibi yake, I'm like, oh my God, that was me. That was me, because I after my dad passed away, I was in class 6. So we grew up learning how to do things by observing what my mom used to do, because my mom now was everything. Just like Sharon is saying, is talking about her mom. Like, my mom used to do everything. Yeah, ndio provide. Yeah, ndio kila kitu. So I picked those characteristics from her. And I remember when I got married, mimi mi niliko huyo wa kuchange bale sinki na leak nitajitengenezea like yes until at one point, and it's not hata si kitambo sana, maybe about 5 years ago, when I had a conversation with a therapist and I mentioned it, I was like, oh my God, anyway, we are built by our upbringing really builds the person you become in life. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, that's true, because I had to learn how to, because there's a man in the house, so kama unafanya hizi vitu zote yeye anafaa afanye nini? Oh, please.
Thank you so much, Judy. Now, I love this because they are saying out of experience.
Yes.
Whatever they are going through, it is out of the experience. And I would want to say that there is what we call fatherhood, kidoda, or motherhood. And in a layman's language, the fatherhood would call it the daddy issue. And most of our children also experience this. And when we talk of the daddyhood or the fatherhood, it is where the father or even the motherhood is either emotionally, physically, or psychologically absent. Or there was some kind of rejection, or the person is not there, or the person is so harsh to the children. One of us here mentioned about a toxic relationship. That one can be very traumatizing even to the children. And when we say that we do not know what will happen to them, just as you said, our children learn through observation. They see what you do and they start doing that. According to the society, the traditional way, there was that work that was set for a male and that which was set for a female. But as we are evolving, these things are changing.
Yeah.
We have electricians who are ladies and they are changing those bulbs. You'll find them on top, they are working. We have gentlemen who are serving in the hotels as the waitresses or the waiters. So these roles are being reversed. And therefore, what they observe, it is good, let them observe. With the time, because now they are learning this because they are at home, they will go to the larger community. And when they will be out there, they will still learn some other things. And they will come now to identify that this is what I'm supposed to do, and I am supposed to leave this to the other person. If, for instance, we are two in the family, the two partners are there in the family. And I would want to take you back, although whatever I was to talk about is got a lot of criticism. And this one was a research that was done by one of the earliest psychologists, alikuwa anaitwa Sigmund Freud. And he talked about the Oedipus complex, where boys, when they are growing at the age of 3 to 6, and you'll come probably to, or most of our parents probably have encountered that, you find that the boy is so much drawn to the mother. And the boy at that age has some kind of envy with the father. He is so mad with the father because he feels that the kind of affection that he's getting from my mother, I am the person who is supposed to get it. That, And therefore he becomes so bitter. But with the time, he comes now to realize that this is not the way. And he starts now identifying with the father. If the father is not there, he will look for a role model. And she said that you may not have that uncle or that grandmother or that grandfather. But then there are still other people in the society. You have your men friend. And when I talk of men friend, I'm not talking of intimate relationship. We can also go closer to them. We have programs that bring about this. The other one is about the ladies, girls. They are so much drawn at that age. We call it the electra complex. They are so much drawn to their dads. And why is this happening? Because they start now identifying and they note that I do not have a penis like my brother or my friend or whatever. And they also become very envious. And they start feeling now, I can only identify with my father because he has the organ, the one that I am lacking. And they start blaming their mothers because they feel like the mother is the one who deprived me from this. But with the time, they come to identify themselves with their parents. Now, why did I bring all this? It is because here we are ladies. We are bringing out these boys. These challenges are there. They will come across some of these things. And now that we have learned about this boy at times, and this happens to the society, there are those things that we tell our boys, and I would want us to avoid. Can you man up? You are the man of the house. We are making them go and start taking responsibilities before their time. So even the information that we are giving them, we should check on the age-appropriate information that we need to give to our boys. So when we tell them, now you are the man of the house, you need to do this, we need to avoid that and let them grow. If we tell them that men do not show their emotions, you don't have to cry, you don't have to show that you are sad, this is now the time that we need to encourage them. And we tell them, when you are sad, let me know. Show it. It is a way of healing. When you feel bitter, show it. When you want to cry, cry, because they are also human beings.
That's true, yeah.
And this is the way the society has brought up our men, our boys. And therefore, we find that we are depriving them so much. And they will keep that wood in them. And when that wood becomes too much, one day, one time, it will burst. So what are we supposed to do? We encourage them. We have open communication. You may say, okay, I fear, what do I have to tell him when this time comes? But from the word go, if we are open with our boys, even bringing such talks will also be, it will just flow and it will be very easy. So be open, let them express themselves. Bring them closer to you and you'll find it very easy.
Does it get to a point in life? Because I know you said you need to let them grow. I'm just curious. This is just maybe very curious. Does it get to a point in life where now you need to say these statements? Like, is it a society zenye unasema we should not, don't tell them to man up, don't tell them all these things. Does it ever get to a point where you feel as a, like, sasa amefika hii age, they are old enough, now I can tell them, I can maybe say a few things that will make them harden up. Does it ever get to that point?
You tell the person man up.
The boy, yes.
If you tell the person man up, and this generation, how will that person take it? He might take it like you are now, it is like an abuse in quotes. You are now telling me that I'm behaving like a child, and you are telling me to man up. Me, I would change that one and tell them to speak up. Instead of manning up, you speak up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you may tell them to man up, and already in them, there is a lot of pressure, there is a lot of tension in them, there is a lot of trauma, that which they have not been able to let go, and especially that fatherhood that I talked about. Because in some cases, when the father is absent and they are experiencing this and there is nobody to identify with, they will start having that low self-esteem and they would want to get out of this. So when I tell this person, man up, you are now escalating the injury that is already in this person. But if you encourage this person and tell the person, man up, the person, speak up, now this child will even come closer to you and we will be able to express those that we are talking about.
But some statements, when we tell them, it's not, we don't mean to like cause any harm, like especially if I have one son in the house and he's now a bit older, and sometimes we tell them like, you're the man of the house or you're my main man, you know. It's because you're like, for me, that is a person, that is a man who's in my life right now, who's very important. We don't say it maybe to mean like in a bad way, or telling them like, you are the man of the house, because now if I'm not there, you have to know in case of anything, you have to be a man enough to protect your sisters. Maybe we are making them, giving them responsibility pretty early, but it comes naturally.
It will depend with the context.
Okay.
The context. So when he's too young and we start telling him like that, he will now start taking now the responsibility of the man, and you are not allowing him to grow with his pace. So unamharakisha. But if it is a person who is of age, it is okay. Yeah, it is okay. The context.
Like what? That is what I'm curious to know. Is it by the time they're hitting teenagehood? Is it like when they're in their early 20s?
When this person is able to make decisions, and informed decisions. Because sometimes the person might even be in his 20s, but he cannot even make decisions. So if you tell him that he's the man of the house, now what are you trying to tell him? So it will depend the context in which you are implying, and if this person, you see that he's responsible and he can go to another level, that one would be okay.
Okay.
But fair. Not when he's still down there.
You said something else about being honest with the children and telling them about their dads. There's a reason why by the time a woman decides to leave a relationship and now do it on their own and exclude the partner, probably maybe the partner is not interested, and maybe this lady has gone through a lot of hurt with this man. So trying to get away from the toxic situation and raising yourself, the children by yourself, so that you can be in the right sense of mind. If you tell, there's a reason why we tell them, babako aligongwa na reli, babako alikufa, it's because you don't want to go back. If you were to tell them the dad is alive or the dad is there, there's this fear of, if I tell them your dad is just next door, and this person is not interested in this child, what am I making this child go through? Ndio baba yuko, alafu nimwambie babako ni fulani, ajaende kwa babake amreject. So it's hard to know. Sometimes you will lie, but you call it a white lie because you are like, it's better when this child is 18 years and above to handle and face the dad as a man, he can take it. But when the child is young, maybe it's wrong the way we handle it, but there's that fear of, akienda kwa babake mistreat, ama reject, what will happen to the child?
It would be better if he is rejected and he has gone to see, and he has seen now this is my biological dad, than none. Why? Because in the final analysis, when this person will be of age and he understands that the dad is alive, and my mom used to tell me that my dad is dead, uyo mtoto atakuwa na chuki, and he will be so bitter with the mom that for all those years you've been cheating me, that he's dead. And that is why I'm saying, even when we are trying to talk to them, we also check on the information that we're supposed to give them as per their age. We might disclose too much to this child and then we mess them. But if this child happens now is a person who can understand, it is always good to tell the truth. Now, why did I say this? Because when they are at their adolescent stage, that is the worst stage, especially in growth. And I said this stage is where they have confusion versus role identity. They want to role model. They want to identify with somebody. And that is the time they will go out looking for their other parents. So if you had been cheating, aligongo, alifanya, he would also want to go and see that grave. He might even do that behind your back. And we have seen several going in search of their dads. That my mom has refused to tell me, so I'll go to my grandmom. If my grandmom doesn't tell me, I go to my uncle. And behind your back, that child will even travel and he will go and look for that dad if he's there. If he's not there, if he can understand that he died and this is the grave, at least that urge of getting to know who he is will go. But if he knows that this is the biological and he's there and I am not being told, that boy might keep on hurting And this is the hurt that we would want to avoid.
My next question would be, because I am assuming, especially for like Olga, you have your boy is a teenager now. So I know sometimes they come to you with all sorts of questions. And like you put it, it's easier to communicate with your daughter because you have an experience raising one. But I'm curious to hear, this is for Olga and for Caroline, because baby bado wako 3 years, bado ni mdogo hajafika hapo. I'm curious to hear how you communicate with them when they come to you with these questions. Maybe sasa, ameona kasichana. Kuna kasichana pale class kanamfanya asikie, ama questions around peer pressure. How do you navigate that kind of communication with you?
For me, the lucky part is the boy has an older sister. And they're closer in terms of this kind of discussion than me. So by the time the discussion comes to me, he goes through the sister. And then they will be like, maybe the sister will be like, fulani akona girlfriend. Because if you approach it directly also, she never opens up directly to you like, I have one. Then I have to snoop. I'm a very good, I snoop through Instagram, whatever. So the sister is helping a lot because it's easier to approach her. So I think by that they bring the discussion to me, but mostly it's hard for him to bring it directly. I'll try and bring it up, but atakata. Hata ukimwambia juu ya girlfriend atakwambia ana. Lakini I'll always get it through the sister. So right now I'm managing it through, he can talk to the sister, and the sister is old enough to, like, wherever she can advise, she will, and wherever I have to come in, they'll bring me in. And also, if there's need to talk to him about certain things, just to make him comfortable, I'll have the sister present so that maybe he can open up easily. Yeah.
Okay. Caroline.
So for me, okay, I'll give an example. Of a month ago, my son came with a question, and he didn't ask a very bad question. He asked me, Mom, what is being gay? You know, it caught me by surprise. So I was like, damn, it's going to be revisey. So, so I just dismissed and told him, I told him, if I start explaining to you right now, you won't get it. But then I asked him, where did you hear it? You know, as much as you can try to restrict maybe the phone, the YouTube, and somehow, somewhere, he has to, I think he had it from school. Yeah. Guess what I find in my search history 2 weeks later I've connected my phone with my laptop. So I get into my search history and I find what is gay. Wow. So I wondered, what do I call the teacher or what do I do? I honestly won't lie that with such topics, I'm still learning. So, you know, then I had to sit him down because I realized if I don't tell him, ataingia Google. The other sources. And so I would rather he hear from me rather than maybe out of curiosity go ask the friends in school or even Google. So I had to sit him down. So like I said, it's a new challenge every other day. So I'm learning. I can't really tell I don't know what question I'll be asked next. So I'm just hoping that, but I want to create an environment where he can be free to, you know, ask me anything. And I learned that I should not dismiss his questions because you see, he'll go to other sources which are not as reliable. Yeah, so it's a learning curve. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Also raised like differently because our parents were very harsh, our generation, especially speaking from experience. Baba alikuwa akiingia sitting room mnapotea. Akikuja mna disappear. The dad was present, but I don't think I ever sat down to have a discussion with him. We knew the dad was like a lion in the house. We fear him. There's no time you'll sit next to your dad There's no time you'll go to your dad and ask your dad anything. And I think it's affected because when I look at my brother, he never had these discussions with our dad. He was always quiet by himself because he was the only boy. He was quiet somewhere. He's in the house watching TV. The dad will only provide. I think we started maybe having some discussion with my dad when I'm this old. Like we can sit down and say what used to happen here and here. How are you coping as a parent? Now we can sit and talk. But back then, I see how it also affected my brother because he doesn't open up. If he's in a relationship and the relationship is not working, he's suffering. And he can't even tell us because tumefundishwa kunyamaza. So for us, it's also a learning process because we realize we have to raise our sons differently. And maybe this is why we're also having this discussion to get to learn and know how can we be these parents who are opening up to our children because this is not how we were raised and we don't want it to be a repeat. So we are totally willing to learn and hoping we'll have more of these discussions.
Yeah, because Judy, you say such questions or those are the questions that a son should, ask the dad maybe maybe they visited the barber shop or maybe they are playing football or maybe the dad is teaching him to do something. In such scenarios, the son will be free to ask such questions. So when they ask you as a mom, they catch you off guard. But yeah, we are learning and so that's the challenge of raising a boy. The questions they ask, they should be okay, not that I'm leaving entirely the conversations to dads, but I think they'd be answered better by a father figure or something of the sort. Yeah.
And I agree with when you say the kind of questions sometimes they ask you and they catch you completely off guard. I remember one time, I think Mumbuz she was around 11 or maybe 11 years, I think. She was around 11. And she came home from school very excited and opened the door and saw the dad. And the first question she asked the dad was, "Daddy, what is semen?" Where? Let me tell you, I just saw the look on, and it was a specific question for the dad. It was not for the mom. She knew that one is for daddy to answer. So I can imagine, I know what you mean when you say questions they ask that catch you completely off guard. So Councillor Unice, what pointers would you give us? Now, me hapa nimejingiza pia. Yes, when it comes to answering some of these questions.
Thank you so much, Judy. I was thinking about what Carol said, and I was imagining that I've come to you with a question. Tuseme you are older than me, and I've come to you for assistance. And I actually wanted to get some insight from you.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, that one, or you just call it quits and you just you leave me there. So I'll be left hanging. Now, why did I bring this? Because when our children come to us, they have a lot of positivity in us, and they know that we can answer any question they ask. They have a lot of trust. And so when the boy comes to you as a mother asking you a question, it is always good, even if you are not very certain, you just give the information that you know, depending with the age appropriate. I still keep on repeating that, the age. Now this boy comes and asks you, what is gay? These are some of the things that they are getting from the internet. These are some of the things that they are getting from school. These are emerging issues. And this boy has come to you and want to know, what is it? So as a mother, and this child has come, what am I supposed to do? Will I just ignore and assume I don't know? Will I just assume that it is just a passing weed? This is now the time that you need to sit down and you explain to him according to the age what he will understand not something that is too large that he cannot put one and one together. And remember, if you do not tell him, he will definitely go and Google just like he did. And most of the information, they are getting it from the internet. And therefore, if you want your child to get it right, give him what you know. And this is where I tell parents, we need to educate ourselves as well. We also need to keep ourselves afloat. We read so that if a question comes, we'll be able to answer it. Because you, as a mother, your child looks upon you as a hero. And he has a lot of trust. In his eyes, he looks at you as a hero. And he knows my mother will answer everything. And it is you who he knows, because there is no male figure in that household. On the other hand, every victory, that small victory that you are able to attain, serves as a very big win to your child. So when he comes, just sit him down. Tell him, let him know. Because in schools, there is a lot of gayism. And so many of our boys are also affected. They are being messed up in schools. We have had several cases. Mambo ya drugs imejaa huko. So when we do not help them, and remember, we as parents, we are the primary caregivers. And therefore, if we ignore some things, they may never understand. So let us take our responsibility, and having that role of, or that double role of the father and the mother, we need to know, how do I now take this, or how do I assist my boy so that he will grow as a man, he will grow as a person who is able to make decisions, and a person who can stand up as a man and say, yes, here I am. Because we need to teach them about their roles, their responsibilities, not forgetting that these roles keep on evolving. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. So this one is for you, Councillor Unice. I think we've touched on it a bit throughout our conversation, but maybe we can just recap it again. So this is from a psychological perspective. What are some of the key things as moms we can apply to when we are having conversations with our children, or maybe no, rather, let me rephrase that. When we are to make sure that we foster emotional intelligence in our children, and in this case, especially boys, because as it has been put, it's very easy for us, if girl to girl, very easy, you know what to tell them. But emotional intelligence for boys, how are we supposed to go about that communication to make sure by the time anakuwa mkubwa anajua ni mjanja in these areas like this?
Thank you so much. Number one, I keep on emphasizing on open communication, because it is that open communication that this boy will be able to open up and tell you what is in him and what he's experiencing. Number two, you need to bring him closer to you. Talk to him, help him to bounce back. And when we talk of bouncing back, we need to make them resilient, that this is the kind of thing that you are passing through. And because we would want you to bounce back and become the man that I would want you to be, or you would want to, or you would love to be, I need to help you. If I take a paper from your book and I just fold it, it will be, and I release it, it will never come back to its normal state. If I take this cushion, this material, and I fold and I squeeze it, once I release it, it will come back to, it will bounce back. So this is the way we need to assist our children to bounce back. We let them learn about their traits, their personalities. We help them to know what they love doing. And we help them to go for their passion and their interest. When it comes to the stereotyping, that I had some boys telling me about this and that, then how do I take it as a boy? Will I just go and sit at a particular corner and say, I am done, I'm an outcast? We need to help them get out of that cocoon, and we bring them to the light. And there is something that I keep on repeating, and I keep on telling people, and I think even last time I mentioned this quote of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he said that if you cannot fly, then run. If you cannot run, then walk. If you cannot walk, then crawl. But make sure you are moving forward. What does that mean? Judy, you might be running. I might not run your race. I might be crawling. But towards the end, whether you are running or I'm crawling, at least I'm making some progress. I am moving forward. So even as parents, we also need to have the same quote. We put it in our mind that we are raising up our boys. We would want them to be resilient. We would want them to get out of this trauma. We would want them to know that they can become their best. So every time you are talking with that child, just give him positive affirmation, just as you also give yourself that positive affirmation, because we need to give ourselves that. Sometimes in this age, you might also find that their hygiene is also coming down. Their self-esteem is coming down. That is the time we need to come in. And we tell them, you are equal to your task. And you can do better than what you are doing. We want you to bounce back. We would want you, me as a mother, I would want you to do this. And even as you tell him you would want, let him also tell you, this is my view. Because with the current generation, there is that which they want. The way we were brought up, we might keep on repeating it to our children, but they have a different perspective. So we also need to understand them. We also need to understand what they are undergoing, so that we can journey together and so that we can be reading from the same page. Yeah.
I like what you said about giving them positive affirmations, because then that now is the guide to my next question. And we've been speaking for over 1 hour, actually 1 hour end. So as I try to wind up this conversation, but I feel like there is a lot. Like if you were to sit here, I think we would sit here and talk for maybe like half a day. Yeah, there's a lot that we can talk about, especially with our conversation today. But now this is for my moms, and we've talked about parenting, but now I want to know for yourself, for you, how do you go about managing your mental health and well-being with all the responsibilities that come with being a single parent? What do you do that is just for you? Like, hii nafanyanga tu, hii ni yangu tu. Yes.
Yeah, about mental health. I think we need, it takes a while for you to realize maybe you're having a breakdown, or you need counseling, or you need some support. For me, the realization came through my children, because I think I was so stressed up at some point. I used to snap a lot, and I didn't know. So they just came to me, they're like, Mom, nowadays you na snap too, na tupigia kelele from nowhere. And I used to think my coping mechanism was going to lock myself in the room. I'm like having a mommy time, which they were like, hey, mommy time yako, it's too much. So at some point it was too much. One time when I was going for a normal visit in hospital, I just walked into a counselor. I'm like, I think there's something wrong with me, because I'm having all these memory losses. I'm forgetting very petty things. Do I have a problem like health-wise? And after like 30 minutes of having a discussion with the counselor, I realized I had a lot in me. I had a lot, and I was not getting it out. I was going to get into a mental breakdown, a bad one. So after having the discussion, then I was advised, like, sit down, write down everything that you're facing right now. Is it financial? Is it struggle? Is it anything you're feeling like? Then just write it down and see how you can cancel it one by one. And it helped. And I'm still open to going for more counseling. The other thing is I go to my friends. Yeah, we go with friends out once in a while, and you realize when you're talking to your friends, and even right now talking to the other moms, we realize we have the same problems. So mkika huko, if you're having a drink, you're having your soda, you're having your coffee, you laugh about it. It's good to get out. It's good to get out, because now after a while, if I stay home for long, my children will push me out. Kwani hauna plans, hauna marafiki, please go out. Because I think they see me a better version of myself. If I go away and talk to my friends, I come back energized. Oh yeah, I think counseling will be good. Maybe meeting friends or doing something for myself, taking walks also. Yeah, it helps me cope. Yeah, and being open with them and maybe talking to them. Yeah, them helping me understand. Mnaona siku hizi ni aje, then they'll tell me, because now they're old enough. And this generation is very interesting. They pick so many things that you might not. And they have the courage. We've raised them to be open with us, unlike our parents. Parents wetu kitambo ungeenda kumwambia mama hapa unakuwa unfair, utatandikwa some more. So having that openness also gives them, they are able to tell when something is wrong with the mother, and they point it out. And maybe just being courageous enough to face the issues. Yeah.
Yeah, how I cope up. Me write a lot. I don't have a lot of friends. Since tu nikuwa mdogo nakuanga introverted. So me write a lot. What else? I write a lot. I try to spend as much time as possible with my kids. Kwanza Fonty. Fonty is a very active boy, which it's not me, maybe the dad. He's very, very active. Uwezi sema utakuja kwa room uende uhide. You'll never hide away from Fonty. He will come. He will knock until you open the door. So yeah, I think that's how I cope with it. And also I listen to a lot of YouTubers, especially you and Sarah Jakes. You too, like nikifeel tu niko chini, niko down, like me way down, Miss Dani. I listen to her messages and I just wake up very, very energetic, and I thank God for that. And I thank God that nilipata your YouTube channel. I didn't know you at first. So I remember there's a time my husband alikuja kanambia, babe, unasikizanga Mkuru? Kamwambia Mkuru ndio nani? Uji Freddy? Kamza Freddy mgani wa Taidi? Nikamwambia anafanyanga nini? Huwa anasema story. So hapo nikaanza kusikiza story yake. Then kuna siku nika bump into, ilikuwa wewe, mkurugenzi na Mumbu. Mlikuwa mnaulizana who knows Mumbu's better. So from there nika subscribe to your channel, and it like ika click too from there. So mi ngojea your next upload, yeah. So hizo ndo vitu ni keep saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no excuse how to produce content. Thank you. Caroline.
Well, as for me, I think the first step that I took for the sake of my mental health was getting out of the so-called relationship, because like Olga said, I used to snap a lot at my kids, because you are frustrated. Maybe you're from having an argument with your partner, then the kid does something very minute and you snap, like they are the ones who you offload everything to them. So I saw, wow, it's affecting me, and it's also affecting my kids. I tried talking to my son because he's 9, so we can have conversations. So a while back, I asked him, would you rather when your dad was around or when he's not? And suddenly he said, it's okay when we are the way we are. And I realized he noticed the difference when we were together and now that I'm alone. As much as there are struggles, at least I'm able to kind of hide them. Yeah. So I try having conversations with him, to know tumefika wapi hivo. I ask him engaging questions every day. After school I ask him questions, how your day was, who made you happy, who made you sad, whom did you help, like, so that I can gauge how he's progressing so that I can gauge how I'm parenting, yeah. And also I do write a lot. I love writing down stuff, and I recently introduced that to him. So we'll just be sitting, maybe it's on I don't have the privilege of going out. I also don't have friends as such. And also with the toddler, I have a 2-year-old girl. Sina privilege ya kutoka and yeah, so I just try to create some bonding sessions. They help me also, because I'll know what I'm doing right, where I'm failing, what my next step will be, you know. Yeah, and those are the things that keep me sane. Journaling and having those talks. Yeah, that's it.
I'll add to, we women, mothers especially, we don't know how powerful we are. Sitting here and listening to what my friends, my newly acquired friends are talking about, I'm just in awe, for real. For me, when my husband died, my oldest was 2 years, the girl was 2 months. You see, I'm battling grief, and I have to tend to these little children. Like it was me and me alone. You understand? So the 2-year-old girl alikuwa na breastfeed. Mwingine bado anataka a lot of attention. So nakaa hapa hivi nasikia venye hao wametoka from ground wakikuja hivi hadi watoto, like the boys are teenagers. I'm like, I can also do it. If they did it, juu nikikuja hapa nilikuwa nashtuka, niko ile kai mimi nitaweza. So hata tukiwa venye tulimeet, niliwauliza how old are their children, wakaniambia okay. So like I'm very, very encouraged.
She said something about sometimes as we make decisions as mothers to protect our children. Maybe the society doesn't know like why maybe a relationship is broken. But coming from when I was being raised up with my parents, at some point when I was in uni, my parents split. And my dad went his way. He's still in our life. But at that point, he went on his way, and my mom, we remained with our mom. But I'm telling you, that day my dad left, I was relieved. You know, there you're supposed to be sad that your daddy amend. I was actually relieved because the fights that used to be in that house, the fights and the embarrassment used to feel from the neighbors, because wakianza kugonga nyumba, wamegonga madirisha, magari, they break things, you know, because of the fights. And we have friends who are our age mates, who are neighbors. As children, you are facing a lot of shame. You're like, how do you talk to your neighbor? Akijua parents wako walikuwa napigana ama walikuwa nagombana, there was scuffles. So sometimes it is better we choose to stay sane and protect our children, even if the other parent is there and maybe on the side, maybe in the life of the children or not there. We choose that because of the protection, because you wouldn't want your children to go through the toxic relationship you're going through. It doesn't build you. Lakini when now you're able to be a strong person, and then you're able to show them, even if maybe if the father was there, akitaka angekuwa, but maybe you live and raise a broken family with the dad being around. So some choices they are hard, but we do it for our children. So we try and protect them also. Yeah.
And on that note, I have a question for Unice. At what age is the damage irreversible? Like, because I think my boy has seen things he should not have seen and had things he should not have had. At what age does the brain develop? Like, honestly, I cannot afford therapy, I won't lie. So apart from therapy, what else can I do And I'm also asking for maybe Sharon here, because ili asifanye labda makosa nilifanya, and any other mom out there would like to know, how can I right the wrongs that have happened? Like, my boy is 9. Can I start reversing the damage? And what can I do as a person who cannot afford therapy?
I would want to start by saying, you cannot give what you don't have. We always give what we have. If you have peace, you'll be able to give peace to the person who is next to you. If you have bitterness, that is what you will give. And when you are undergoing that traumatic experience, remember you are trying to adjust to something that has just come. And it is a wound that is already in you. Your boy, on the other hand, is also trying to adjust. So the two of you are trying to adjust. And this is why I said, when he's coming to you with a question, it is because you are a hero to him, and he trusts that you're going to give him the very best. So trauma, a traumatic experience like the one that probably he had because of that fatherhood I had talked about earlier on, it is, I equate it with a physical wound. A physical wound, if you take it to the hospital, it will not heal immediately. It will have to undergo some process. And with the time, it will heal, but a scar will be left. But this scar will not be as painful as it was when it was a raw wound. The same case applies to our mental and our emotional injuries. So he might be having that wound. And even if he told you that I am okay, that he is not there, so we are okay the way we are, because he has already adjusted to the kind of life that he's now getting all the attention that he wanted. There is no fight, there is no rushiana mikono, so he has already adjusted. You, on the other hand, you have also adjusted. So with the time, just like that physical wound, it will keep on healing. At time he might come to you when he's of age, and he come with another question. And when he come with that question, if it was an abrupt question, and probably you do not have an abrupt answer, just do the deep breathing. Give yourself some time. When you're still there, hold his hand, go and sit, and then you explain. So with the time, he will heal. But the scar might be there, but it will not be as painful. There is what we were talking about, the kind of care that we give to ourselves as single parents. And not even as single parents, as parents, let me put it like so. Sometimes we find that we are overwhelmed trying to balance the household chores, the children, the work, and all that. And at times we feel that fatigue, and it holds us so much that sometimes if we have some kind of bitterness, we tend to project it to our children. And when we project it to our children, we are now teaching them another level, which is not right. So we always advocate for having our me time, like the one that you talked about. Self-care is very important. And when we talk of self-care, that which you love doing, go ahead and do it. Carol said that she writes a lot. It is okay. Go ahead and do it if that is what you love most, because you want to also to rejuvenate. You want to re-energize yourself and to get out of that very tight schedule. If you are that kind of a person who loves probably watching something, just give yourself time. Watch it. You can even make a walk outside in the nature. We call it the nature walk. Go out. See what the nature has for you. Learn something. When you feel like you are exhausted, there is something that we call the 3-3-3 rule or the 5-4-3 rule. And when you're just seated there and you feel like there is some things that are not adding up, You can even practice the 3-3-3 rules. I hope you still remember, or the 5-4-3. And how does it go? Here it is where we put all our senses. We try to put them into practice. And we first of all look around and we identify about 3 things that we can see. You identify, you are trying to get rid of those flashbacks or those bad memories. Then after identifying the 3, you can now think of, you listen attentively and you think about 3 sounds that you can hear from where you are seated or even from outside. You can even try to smell. What can you smell? You can smell yourself, you can smell the air. Touching, where you are, you touch 3 things and you feel the different textures. The seat, the cover of the seat, which might be rough, your skin, which might be soft, and so forth. And then finally, you also move about 3 parts of your body. You move your heart, you move your head. At least you make, when you are doing this, you are trying to get rid of some of those flashbacks. On the other hand, when you are alone, just stand in front of a mirror and tell that other person that you see on the other side what you think about her. If it is me, Carol, what can I tell this Carol who is here? Affirm yourself, and the affirmation, that positive affirmation you give yourself, try to work it out throughout the day, so that when the evening comes, you will turn back and see whether what you told yourself, you've been able to achieve it. If you tell yourself, I can and I will make it, work towards that. Evening come, ask yourself, what and what did I achieve? And you tell yourself, yes. And whether you achieve something very minute, that very small victory that you have achieved, always pat yourself. Congratulate yourself. We might not be there. You may not have somebody telling you keep it up. Just congratulate yourself and tell yourself, yes, I was able to do this. When you decide to go to that hair salon, when they are working on your head, listen to them. Listen how things are being done. When you rise up and you start preparing yourself and you put your best dress, you are still giving yourself that self-care. You are still doing yourself good. Pamper yourself and don't forget to eat well, and don't forget to drink water and to sleep, because those are very important, as well as exercising. Yeah, we need to take care of ourselves so that whatever we have, we'll be able to give to our children, and let them see that hero in us, and we are going to make it.
I love that. I love the mirror one. Yeah, that one works very well. That one I do practice every now and then, especially on those days you wake up and you feel like, nothing is working today. They do something.
I can probably add something. You can even be writing something. Whatever you have achieved during the day, something positive, and you have a box somewhere, you keep it somewhere. You journal. You write, today I came to this whatever, and you're happy. Just jot it, even write the date. Put it there every other day. So when you are so down, just remember you had that box somewhere. Go pick something randomly, read, and you'll find yourself smiling.
I like that.
You're giving yourself a smile.
Yes, that's true. Actually, I've been talking about it here on our channel, because it's something I started doing last year. I call it the gratitude jar. Yes. So mine I do it every once a week, and I challenged. I don't know. Manafanya gratitude jar. Yeah, I challenged my audience. I told them this year, 2024, I want us to do it together. So since January, actually you don't even have to do it every day. Once a week. At the end of the week, pick one thing, write it. Yeah, and I agree with you. On that day that you wake up and you feel like, leo hakuna kitu inakubali, everything is just not working. Let me tell you, I open that box, I remove just one random note, I read it, nikitoka hapo
You feel good.
You feel very good. You feel good. And also you realize that life is about the small things. We tend to assume it's about the big things, but it's really about the smallest of things that actually make up life and the joy of living. Yeah, and now as we wind up for real, this is my last question. Yeah, and I will start with Carol. Carol, if I was to ask you if there is something, maybe one thing that you would like to tell a fellow single parent who's watching now, what would you tell them? It could be a word of encouragement. It could be anything, whatever it is that you would like to tell that other single mom now who's watching us today.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that they are doing a great job, and it's not easy, but they should always wake up, look at their kids, and know that they are doing a great job. Then they should find something to bond over with their kids and also take care of their mental health. They, like you said, the gratitude challenge helps so much. It helps you count. You should not lose your blessings counting your losses. So the writing, journaling, being grateful for the tiniest of things, it really makes you know that you are on the right path, and that's how God will always provide for you. You'll never lack. Yeah, so for every other single mom out there, just know that you're doing a good job.
They are.
Yeah.
Sharon.
Yeah. They're doing the best they can, kwa sababu it's not easy, especially when live a toxic relationship and ukamua it's me and my kids, like you're a hero, kwa sababu the dad would, but ajafanya, so like you're a hero. So no matter what the stereotypes say, just know it's you and your kid, and at the end of the day, the kid will be proud of you. So whatever you do, just be proud of yourself and be proud of your kids. And for those who are left with the kids like me, tunasamanga kila kitu Mungu ndiye anakuanga amepanga, yeah. So the fact that alikupatia grace ukaleta watoto kwa dunia, atakupatia the same grace to bring them up. Inakanga ni ngumu, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Lia as much as you can, vent as much as you can. If you don't feel like waking up the whole day, don't wake up, but tomorrow make sure you wake up. Yeah.
The grace that He gave you to bring the children to the world, He'll give you the same grace to see you through that journey. I like that. Olga.
For me, I would say tomorrow is a better day. It won't be the same as tomorrow, today, I mean. So always remember tomorrow is a better day. The other thing I will encourage is God cannot give you something that you can't handle. Basically, your children are a blessing. God knows the children. Alikupatia watoto for a reason. There are people who would want these children and maybe they do not have, and it's not their wish. So just having that child is a blessing. Just be, literally, kila mtoto ana sahani yake. I know we joke about this quote, but kila mtoto hukuja na sahani yake. So just remember, tomorrow is a better day, and God cannot give you something you can't handle. Just get up. Get up and move.
I like that. Yeah. Get up and move.
Yeah.
Councillor Unice.
Okay, thank you. Now, I would want to say that you are strong. And you only know how strong you are when being strong is the only option. You have moved from A, you have gone to C, looking forward to D. And you are moving, and you will go. And remember, you are beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. Look at yourself, count the blessings. Look at those children, know that they are blessings. Tell yourself, I will make it. Whether single-handedly, I will make it. Give yourself that affirmation. Forget about self-criticism. Forget about negative judgment. Look at yourself with a lot of positivity. And just as I said, your child looks at you like a hero. You are a hero in your child's eyes. And that small victory is actually a very big win in the eyes of the family. And that is more than enough. Wake up, walk the journey, and by the end of it all, you will arrive. Give yourself the strength.
I like that. I like that. You are beautifully, wonderfully, and fearfully made. And we will make it.
Great.
I like that. I like that.
And she asked a question about counseling services, and maybe they are not affordable and you need them. I didn't know this till we had some meeting somewhere. We have counselors in government hospitals. Most people don't know this, but they're counselors posted. So if you go to a government hospital and you're going for normal government hospital services are like 50 bob for to get a card. And if you go to see like a doctor and you say maybe you want counseling session, they are there, and I think they're cheap. They're like maybe 200, probably less than 500 or 500, I'm not sure. But they are there, and maybe people should make use of it because these are people who are paid by the government. Yeah, we can make use of the counselors there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's a good point to note. Yes, and also Councillor Unice is available.
Yeah. We
Yes.
also give, sometimes we even go beyond and we give the pro bono. Because sometimes a situation comes and you find that this person is not able or the person cannot meet the demands. And you want to save this person. We are also human beings. So sometimes we can also offer that. Although sometimes you also see, you also need some cash. But all the same, when you talk yourself out, definitely we can also listen to you. There are so many other organizations. We also have probably people in the feeder. You can also get support from them. There are others who call them the single. And by the way, networking is very important. Those groups of single parents, we have groups. You can even get them even from the internet. Networking is very important. And you lift or we lift each other's spirit.
I like that. Thank you so much. We'll put your information about how people can reach you up on the description box. So if you'd like to reach out to Councillor Unice, please. Her information is up on the description box. For me, ladies, it's just to say thank you and to ask, because I feel like today was just like we've just covered like a quarter of what this conversation could be. So if you'd be willing to come back sometime in the future and continue with this conversation. Cynthia.
Definitely.
Yay. I love that.
You're so beautiful in person, and we are so glad we actually met you. We follow you online, and now even having the pleasure to meet you and even have this discussion. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. And the pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. And may God bless you. When you get home, please kiss your babies for me. Even the one in Oko University. Mwambie nili insist. Wasalimie. And thank you so much. Continue doing the wonderful job that you're doing. You're super moms. You're heroes to your children. And we can say it. Me, the fact that I am seated here with you guys is a testimony that you are indeed a wonderful mom.
And you touch a lot of people. Considering we've all come from different places. Actually thought most of the audience will be from Nairobi. This shows you like there's so many people following your content and following, and we look up to you. So keep up.
Yeah, but then you have no idea how, I don't know if this will be posted, but at some time when everything was falling apart, Mkuru's episodes were the only thing we could sit and watch. Yo ikiisha tuenda shughuli zake. Like that was the only thing we bonded over. Yeah, so you have no idea the number of people watching you and the impact you are having on them. Yeah, maybe that was the only time we could laugh watching Kuru and watching your episode. So thank you so much.
This one should actually go to that other person who is suffering out there and who feels like I am an outcast and this is me, this is how I am, so I am supposed to sit in my own corner, in my own cocoon. How I wish they can come out, because it is through coming out that they will be able to heal and to journey.
I agree, that's true. Thank you.
Imekuwa one of healing process for me. To be honest, I've learned so much, especially from like nimelearn a lot, and I'm going to practice each and everything. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Asanteni sana. Na Mungu awabariki. And I look forward to having you again back on that couch, on these 2 couches, tuendelee na conversation, and to our audience. In case you have any further questions that you'd like to ask any of our guests today, please feel free kuuliza hapo kwa comment section. And anything else that you'd like us to talk about in the future, nimewaambia, I promise you I'll bring them back. Same group of people. I'll bring them back. So if you have any questions that you'd like us to answer in the next conversation, or a topic you'd like us to cover in the next conversation, please hapo kwa comment section tuandikie. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, and God bless you. Until next time, guys. Bye. Oh, thank you so much. Aki, guys.
Thank you also for inviting
us. Oh my God.
We feel honored. In fact, we can't take it for granted.
Oh, thank you
so
much.
Yeah.
Tunakuja
Karibu.